Good morning, children, and welcome to the social science class. This is class 6th, chapter number 6 of history. The chapter name is Kingdoms, Kings, and an Early Republic. As we have already covered one of the lecture from this chapter, in which we covered the new kings or rulers, those came in society, how they performed different rituals and became more powerful than other rajas. Then we talked about Janpad. Then some of the Janpad those became more powerful than others. They were known as Mahajanpad. Then we talked about the fortification that was done by the rulers or kings at that time around their capital cities. Along with all these topics, we also covered the 4 Varnas in society. Today we will be covering some more topics of this chapter. They are taxes. How the new Rajas or kings, they started collecting the taxes. What type of taxes they were collecting from different people. Changes in agriculture. For the more production, some changes were made there in the agriculture that we will talk about. Mahajanpadas we will talk about, especially Magad, they are in this lecture. Then we will talk about Vajis, what were these Vajis, in which Sangha and Gana, these two topics we will be covering. And at last we will take Greece, near about 2500 years ago, what was there in Greece. So let's start with the topics. Taxes. The amount that the people were paying to the kingdom or to the king or rajas. That amount, and in different forms they were paying at that time. As basically the people, the barter system was going on, means they were not much aware about the money, the currency. So the things they were paying basically. Whatever they were doing, the growing, if farmers are there, whatever they were growing, so in that form they were giving the taxes. If herders are there, so herders, they were giving the taxes in the form of animals or animal produce. We will talk about all these things there in the taxes. Rajas of later Vedic period began maintaining armies. Here what the chapter is trying to say, that earlier when we talked about in Rigvedic period, there were the Rajas, they were just name given Rajas. They were not having any army, any power with them. But now in later Vedic period, Rajas, those became more powerful. They started maintaining the armies with them, the soldiers with them. And they had to pay salaries to the soldiers in the army. So instead of depending on occasional gifts brought by people, they started collecting regular taxes. As they had to pay the salaries to the soldiers, so only gifts brought by the people, they were not sufficient. That's why they started collecting the regular taxes from the people. So Rajas started collecting taxes in different types. Different type of taxes they were collecting from different people. According to the work the people were doing, they started collecting taxes. Let's see what type of taxes they were collecting from the different people. Different types of taxes. Farmers, as you know, farmers, the person who grows the different crops. So farmers gave taxes as 1/6 of their produce. Whatever they were growing there in the field, the production they were having, out of the complete production, the whole production, they were giving 1/6 to the Rajas as tax. This tax was known as bhag or share. The part 1/6 part of production that farmers were giving to kings, that was known as bhag or share. The next one, craft persons gave taxes in form of labor. Craft persons were the skilled people, those who were making different type of articles. So they were giving their labor as tax. Here it means they were working for the rajas or the kings there as the taxes. Then the next one is traders paid taxes on goods they brought and sold. Trader means the person who buy the things from an area and then sell it to the another area for getting profit. So traders were paying the taxes in the form of goods that they were bringing. Whatever the things they were having, the goods goods means things, saman. So whatever the things they were bringing from the distant lands and they were selling it, in the form of those goods they were paying the taxes. Herders paid taxes in the form of animals and animal produce. Herder means the people, those who were keeping the herds, the group of animals. So how were they paying taxes? They were paying taxes in the form of those animals and animal produce. Hunter-gatherers paid taxes in the form of forest produce. As we know that hunter-gatherers, the people who were gathering the different articles from the forest like gum, wood, rubber. So they were paying the taxes in the same form. Whatever they were collecting in the form of that forest produce, they were paying the taxes. Here the complete all the type of taxes that we discussed, they are showing that whatever the people were doing the work, according to that they were paying the taxes to rajas. So these were the different types of taxes during the later Vedic period. And why rajas they started collecting the taxes? Because they started maintaining the armies and they had to pay the salaries to the soldiers there, and due to that one, because regular salaries they were giving, so the occasional gifts that they were getting from different people, they were not sufficient. That's why they started collecting the regular taxes. So this is all about how the rajas or kings they started collecting the taxes and different types of taxes. Next is changes in agriculture. What type of change that came there in agriculture? There were basically two major changes in agriculture. The first one, use of iron plowshare. Plowshare, the bottom part of plow, हल जो होता है, the bottom part of that, for increasing production. Basically earlier the people they were using that plow that was made up of wood only. The plowshare was wooden, but here they started using the iron plowshare, and that iron plowshare that they were using, that was really good for the soil or clay soil could be turned over better than with the wooden plowshare. Okay, the wooden plowshare they were using earlier, this iron plowshare, it was better than that wooden plowshare because clay soil could be turned over better than with the wooden plowshare. Second change it was, people began transplanting method of paddy crop. Paddy means dhan, rice crop. Earlier what they were doing, they were just scattering the that seed for growing rice. But during that period of time, they started using the transplanting method, in which firstly they started growing the sampling of that paddy crop, and then they were using those samplings for growing the crop. And in this way they were able to increase the production of crops. So these were two changes that were seen there, the use of iron plowshare and the transplanting method of paddy crop. Okay, that in this way that all the people of that period of time, they would able to increase the production. The next is Magad. As we talked about Mahajanpadas, near about 2500 years ago, some of the Janpadas, those became more powerful than others. They were known as Mahajanpadas, and they were having the fortification around their capital cities that we covered in previous lecture. Now, one of the example of Mahajanpada was Magad. Magad was most important Mahajanpadas about 20 years ago, 200 years ago. Magad had two powerful rulers, Bimbisar and Ajatashatru. These were the famous rulers of Magad. And one more ruler that was discussed there, that is discussed there in the chapter, is Mahapadmanand. Mahapadmanand was another important ruler of Magad. If we talk about the capital of Magad, Rajgiri, that at present we can say Rajgir in Bihar. Rajgiriha in Bihar was the capital of Magad for several years in starting, but later the capital was shifted to Patliputra. So these both the places are there in Bihar. Rajgriha at present known as Rajgir, and Patliputra at present it is known as Patna. So the starting capital of Magda, it was Rajgriha. Later on it was shifted to Patliputra. Now why this Magda Mahajanpada was important? See, the reason is rivers flowing in Magda were Ganga and its tributary Son river. And due to these rivers, it became important for transport, water supply and making the land fertile. The water of river Ganga and its tributary, they were using for transport, water transport. Water supply was easily available there for the crops. And as water was, the fine quality of water of rivers was present there, that's why the land was fertile. So that's why Magda was important at that time. Now, another thing, there were the forested area also in Magda, and elephants lived in forested area of Magda, which were captured and trained for army. As we can see when we see some of the movies or even the TV serials, in that we can see the elephants, they are the part of army. So there also in Magda and in forested area, elephants were living and they were captured and trained for armies. These elephants were captured means उनको पकड़ा जाता था and they were trained for armies. Forests were important for wood that was used to make houses, carts and chariots. The forest that they were having in that area, they were really very much important for the people living there or for the kingdom also, as the wood obtained from those forests that was used to make houses, carts and chariots there in the at the battle time. So and one more important thing was found by archaeologists there in Magda, that was mines of iron ore. The mines of iron ore were also found by archaeologists, and that iron they were using for making different weapons and tools. So these were some of the features found there in Magda, due to what it was important during that time. So this is one of the important Mahajanpada, Magda. Next is Vaji. Basically Vaji was something different than Mahajanpada. Capital of Vaji was Vaishali, and it was under a different type of government known as Gana or Sangha. We will discuss the meaning of Gana and Sangha also. So, the different type of government was present in Vaji. It was ruled by many rulers. As in Magda, we talked about that important rulers were there, Bimbisara, Mahapadamnand or Ajatasattu. So, one by one their time period was there, but here at the same time different rulers were ruling all together. They all performed rituals together. They met in assemblies, and in assemblies one more thing was found, that women, kamakaras, slaves. Kamakaras are just like the landless laborers, those were working on others' land, those were working for others. So, slaves, women, kamakaras, they were not allowed to come there in those assemblies. And these all rulers, they were ruling together in that particular area, and they performed all the rituals together and met there in the assemblies and discussed about the different criterias for battles. If any of the kingdom they tried to capture this area, so for everything they discussed with each other in the assemblies. And do you know, both Buddha and Mahavira, Buddha belonged to Buddhism, who was the founder of Buddhism. Mahavira belonged to Jainism. That both of these personalities we will be talking in 7th chapter. So both Buddha and Mahavira belonged to Gana or Sangha. We will talk about these both people in 7th chapter, from which Gana or Sangha they were related. So these were belonged to Gana or Sangha. Now, what is Gana? Gana, it is used for a group that has many members. As we talked that many different rulers, they were ruling all together. So its meaning basically in journal we can say it is used for a group that has many members. Sangha, it means association or organization. Sangha means organization or association. So during that period of time, important kingdoms or the rulers, they tried to conquer the Sanghas or Ganas. They were trying to conquer, they were trying to capture this land, and last Gana or Sangha were conquered by the Gupta Empire. The Gupta Empire also we will be learning in later chapter. So, and even we talked about Magda, there Ajatasattu was also trying to capture the Ganas and Sanghas, but before that he talked with Mahatma Buddha, and Mahatma Buddha explained that everything is going on there smoothly. The Ganas and Sanghas, they discuss all the things there in the assemblies, so everything was going on properly. So that's why the little bit conversation about that is also given there in the chapter. But the last Sangha or Gana, it was conquered by Gupta Empire. So this is all about Vaji that we discuss, in which there was not any one important king or Raja. There was different kings or Rajas ruling all together. The next topic is about Greece. You can see Greece there in the atlas also if you have. Around 2500 years ago, democracy form of government was found in Greece. Think about that. Democracy that we are having now, that was there 2500 years ago in Greece. But the lot of difference is there between that democracy and democracy we have today. Women were not considered as citizens there in that democracy. They were not allowed to vote, or they were not considered as the citizens. And not only women, many foreigners who worked there as merchants, craft persons, they did not have right as citizens. Only few people they were having the power there in that democracy. So lot of differences there if we talk about the democracy here present today and democracy during that time they are in Greece. So this is all about the chapter we covered today. The chapter is completed. What we have covered? We have covered the taxes, why they started collecting and what type of taxes they were collecting. The important question there is. Then we talked about one of the important Mahajanpada, that was Magda. Then we talked about Vaji also, in which Gana and Sangha, Gana or Sangha we talked about. And last, a little discussion we have done over Greece. As in every chapter we have the elsewhere part in which we learn something about the other parts from our country and what the happenings were there during that particular time. So now it's time for one of the question they are in exercise. Let's do the that question first of all, then we will move forward for the homework. State whether true or false. This is the exercise question basically. Rajas who let the Aswamedha horse pass through their lands were invited, here invited will come, sorry it is wrong, to the sacrifice. This is true. As in starting of the chapter we talked about the Raja who was letting the horse loose, the horse was passing through in different lands. If the another Raja stopped that horse, it means he was inviting the Raja for fighting the battles. But if Raja was not stopping, it means he is accepting the power of that Raja and he is really inviting that Raja for the sacrifice. And the Rajas who performed sacrifices, they were considered as powerful Rajas. So yes, it is true. The charioteers sprinkled sacred water on the king. This is false because it was done by the priest. Archaeologists have found palaces in the settlements of Janpadas. It is also false because at the time of Mahajanpadas they started building the forts or the palaces and they started maintaining the armies also, but at the time of Janpadas it was not there. Pots to store grain were made out of painted grey ware. This is absolutely correct. We have done that in Janpadas. A fine quality of pottery was found. It was painted grey ware. We have seen one picture also. Many cities in Mahajanpadas were fortified. Many cities in Mahajanpadas were fortified. Why it is written false? Because they are the capital cities we talked about, those were fortified. So now next turn is for your homework. How Rajas of Mahajanpadas collected tax? Explain. All the forms you will explain here. Who were the groups who could not participate in the assemblies of Ganas? Now we talked about that in assemblies, women, kamakara, slaves, they were not allowed to participate. So all these you will write here. Name two powerful rulers of Magda. The names you will mention here. What changes took place in agriculture around this time? The two changes that we discussed in the lecture, you will mention those changes in agriculture during this time. So this is the homework that you will do in your fair register. Along with the writing, you please learn all the questions side by side so that it will be helpful there in exam. Now it's time for homework solution of lecture 1. Question 1, it was given. Why did the Rajas of Mahajanpadas build fort? Mahajanpadas built forts due to following reasons. DUE will come. The Rajas of Mahajanpadas built forts to protect their capital cities. First thing, they wanted to protect their capital cities, that's why the forts were built. Forts were built because people were afraid of attacks from other kings. For the safety purpose, they built the forts. Third, some rulers wanted to show their power by building tall and impressive walls around their cities. The fourth reason is it was Rajas could easily control over all the people living in fortified area. Instead of that, when people were living there in scattered part, so it was really easy to control over the people in fortified area. Second, describe the four Varnas of later Vedic period. The four Varnas of later Vedic period were the Brahmins. Brahmins were expected to study and teach the Vedas. The Kshatriyas, the second were the rulers, also known as Kshatriyas, and they were expected to fight battles. The different works were assigned and on the basis of their word. The Vaishyas, on the third place, there were Vaishyas. They were expected to be farmers, herders, and traders. The Shudras, last were the Shudras, who had to serve all other three groups. So this is the Varna description or division that at the time of later Vedic period. Define the following. Janpadas. The word Janpada literally means the land where Jana set its foot and settled down. The group of people. Mahajanpadas, about 2500 years ago, some Janpadas became more powerful. Such Janpadas were known as Mahajanpadas. Fortification. Huge walls of wood, stone or bricks were built around the capital city of Mahajanpadas were built. It was known as fortification. What do you mean by Ashwamedha? It means horse sacrifice. It was one of the rituals performed by Rajas. As we discussed, a horse was let loose to wander freely in Ashwamedha. The horse that they let loose, it was guarded by Raja's men. So this is all about the homework solution of lecture 1. I hope that you have understood the chapter along with the question answers also. So thank you and have a nice day.